Good morning, Malacañang Press Con. Welcome back. Let's now have Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Magandang umaga, Pilipinas, at good morning to the ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. First, Palas would like to congratulate Marjeline Didal, our latest gold medalist for skateboard women's street finals in the Asian Games, as well as Kiyomi Watanabe, who won a silver in the judo women's. No? With our record of 4 gold, 1 silver, and 13 bronze, we have already surpassed our record in the 2014 Games, which was 1 gold, 3 silver, and 11 bronze medals. We still have our boxers who are already assured of silver, but we're hoping they bring home more gold medals. The Department of Justice has formally submitted its findings on its review of the lease contract between the Naing Filipino Foundation and Landing Resorts Philippines Development Corporation to the Office of the President. It characterized the contract as being void ab initio. According to the Secretary of Justice, it is the contract of Landing with Naing Filipino is a build, operate, transfer contract disguised as a lease contract. Because it is a BOT project, it should have complied with the BOT law, including public bidding. This, of course, rebuts the public advertisement paid for by former officials of the Naing Filipino. Again, I reiterate that DOJ has joined the President in concluding that the contract is void ab initio. The National Food Authority Council will also authorize importation of rice beyond the minimum access volume. Alam nyo, dahil ang tawag po dyan minimum access volume, ibig sabihin, ito yung pinakakaunting amount na ating aangkatin mula po sa iba't ibang bansa para sa bigas dahil ito nga po ay isang politically sensitive na produkto. Pero dahil ito po ay minimum po, pwede pong tumaas pa ang ating importation at dahil sa mga pangyayari po at para mapababa po ang presyo ng bigas, mag-authorize po ang NFA Council para sa pribadong sektor, ulitin ko po, para sa pribadong sektor na mag-authorize na mag-angkat ng bigas beyond the minimum access volume for 2018. The NFA Council will therefore allow for the importation of rice by the private sector. We ask the cooperation of the NFA administration in this regard. Now, we are pleased to announce that the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas reported a 10.2% year-on-year growth in the local banking sector with combined resources reaching a total of 16.065 trillion pesos in the first half of 2018. According to the BSP, big banks' resources posted a growth of 10.79%, amounting to 14.570 trillion compared to 13.150 trillion of the same period in 2017. Thrift banks likewise grew by 4.56%, amounting to 1.36 trillion from 1.82 trillion last year of the same period. We're also pleased to announce that our micro-entrepreneurs in Boracay Island have been granted financial assistance under the Pondo sa Pagbabago at Pag-asenso program of the Department of Trade and Industry. The DTI released a total amount of 210,000 to the first batch of micro-entrepreneurs. Payments can be made monthly or semi-monthly for 6 months to a year, depending on the borrower's ability to pay. And good news to the residents and traders in Socsarjan region, as the Makar Wharf, located in General Santos City, will soon be fully operational. The Department of Transportation and the Philippine Ports Authority have announced the completion of the rehabilitation, upgrading, and construction of the Makar Wharf, which is considered as the country's or the city's maritime gateway for people and trade in the region and handles various types of cargoes. Likewise, the port operations building is nearing its completion with 97.25%. Questions from the Malacañang Press Corps?
Questions, MPC? Uy, Joseph Morong.
Sir, yung sa NFA lang, so yung MAV right now is how many yung in metric tons?
Ay, nako, hindi ko po alam ang detalye, no? Pero ang punto po is na-bid out na yung MAV for 2018, no? Pero ang punto po is pwede naman na tumaas pa yung aangkatin na bigas, no? So, hindi ko po alam kung ano magiging mekanismo ng NFA Council, but it's really just a resolution to authorize further importation of rice, no?
Okay. Sir, yung pong sa speech ni Presidente kahapon, why does he keep repeating that we're better off with a dictator than somebody like the vice president?
Well, siguro po, that's just a personal belief ni Presidente na almost anyone can be better than the Vice President. With all due respect to the Vice President, that's a personal assessment made by the President.
But it's maybe significant and important because we have a pending petition before the PET. Do you not see this as affecting the proceedings in the PET?
Not at all. Because, the PET is conducting what is called revisions of the ballot. So it's the ballots that will be speaking and not the justices individually. They are just going through the ballots to ascertain kung sino talaga ang binoto ng taong bayan para sa posisyon na vice-presidente.
Okay. Sir, yung sa Naga, he repeated it yesterday, I think. Any basis for that, sir?
Well, inulit po yun ng Presidente, sinusuga naman ng PNP na talagang mataas ang krimen sa Naga. Ulitin ko lang po, ang hamon ay para sa lahat ng syudad, hindi lang sa Naga, na patunayan na mababa ang krimen sa kanilang lugar at bumaba na po ang banta na nanggagaling sa pinagbabawal na gamot.
No, I guess the brother-in-law of the vice president, the president alleged.
Well, let's just say that will be investigated.
Okay.
Pia?
Sir, the palace has always said that the president is pro-women, but yet yesterday he made another rape joke. Can you address the criticism, sir, dun sa sinabi niya kahapon na about connecting yung pagtaas ng rape cases sa Davao to having beautiful women there?
Well, I do not know. I cannot really comment on that, but what the President has done recently is he has appointed yet another woman to the post of Chief Justice. This comes after his previous appointments, which were mostly women, including the Department of Tourism Secretary Romulo, as well as an acting secretary for the DSWD. He was also a woman, G. Orago. No?
Sir, do you see these statements as dangerous? Kasi parang the president is coming off as justifying raping women because they are beautiful.
I don't think we should give too much weight on what the President says by way of a joke. No? Some may not approve, but I can tell you this already. There's a difference between sense of humor in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And from what I have seen myself, although I'm from Luzon, people in the South, particularly in Cebu and the Visayas, they don't really take things as seriously as people in Luzon.
So they are okay with rape jokes?
They're not okay with rape jokes, but let's just say that perhaps their standard of what is offensive and what is not offensive is more liberal in the South.
But isn't this putting the standard way too low?
I don't think so. I think the President is mature enough to know to what extent he can go, and he thinks that this is not putting it too low.
Thank you, sir.
Questions? May follow-up? Other issue? Follow-up, Ina?
Sir, one quick lang dun sa NFA before sa isa pang topic. What happened dun sa DA po directive which you announced here earlier that dapat i-fully utilize yung MAV earlier
Pagdating sa baboy.
approved? Kasi nga, parang I think
Oo.
about 50% lang ang
Oo.
na-utilize and now we're adding pa?
Sa baboy po yun. Sa baboy po
Oh,
yun. Oo. Yung hindi
Sorry, my bad
nag-i-import
then.
ng enough for baboy. Oo.
Okay, my bad. Anyway, sa kay Mayor Tommy, sir, natuloy po ba yung meeting ni Pangulo with him as he mentioned in
not
his speech
aware.
yesterday?
But he was also criticized in his speech, I understand. No?
Mhm.
But I'm
Can-
not aware.
Can you tell us, sir, where the president again was coming from when he came out with those tirades against the mayor?
Well, again, it's based on records, no? The crime rate and the report of the drug enforcement agencies and other law enforcement agencies on the drug problem in Cebu.
Joyce? Ay, sorry.
But sir, he was serious that he wants to meet with the mayor so that he can slap him, was he? Or was he? I'm asking you if he was serious.
Well, with the president, you need to see his facial expression. Unfortunately, I was not with him in Cebu. Sometimes I really want to be with him just to see how to explain what he says. No, but I think when it comes to drugs, he must be serious about it. No. Also, you have to consider that the president is a native also of Cebu. The Dutertes hail from Cebu, and that's why he has a sense of not really a sense of belonging in Cebu, no? Which I guess entitles him to have very harsh language for public officials in Cebu.
Okay, Joyce, follow up? Joyce.
Sir, kahapon sabi ni ES Medialdea na option ang extending ng martial law, and you also agree that it's also an option. As of this time po ba, are we really considering extending martial law in Mindanao? Do we see the need for it?
Well, hindi pa po. No? Ang sinabi ko lang is I go by the statement of the Executive Secretary because he's our primus inter pares. No? Pero ang katotohanan po, matagal pa po ang Disyembre. Matagal pa po yung panahon kung kailan dapat humingi ng extension sa Kongreso ang ating Presidente for an extension of martial law kung meron man. At ang rekomendasyon po ng mga kasundaluhan ang pakikinggan ng ating Presidente. So sa ngayon po, tingin ko masyado pang maaga. So hayaan muna natin, magmasid muna tayo at antayin natin ang rekomendasyon ng ating kasundaluhan.
Sir, I think yesterday also House Majority Leader Andaya already said that it will be given to the President in case he asks Congress to extend the martial law.
We thank Congress for their cooperation, but as I said, no, the decision whether or not to extend will be pursuant to a recommendation to be made by our security forces, and hindi pa po sila nagbibigay ng rekomendasyon dahil matagal pa naman po bago ma-revoke o matapos yung binigay na extension ng martial law.
Okay, follow up? Pia.
Sir, follow-up, may nabanggit na po ba tungkol dito si Presidente, yung possibility of extending martial law?
Hindi pa po niya tinatanong ang ating mga security forces. No? I'm sure kung hihingi siya ng opinion, it will be asked in the next command conference, pero wala pa pong nababanggit ang Presidente.
Sir, do you think that yung nangyari sa Sultan Conrad speaks of the effectiveness of martial law in Mindanao?
Well, I think it's premature to say because, in fairness, this is the second incident that we've had in Mindanao, no, since martial law was declared. The first being in Basilan, and the second being in Isulan, no. So tignan po muna natin. And I'm not in a position to substitute my decision to that of the men on the ground. So antayin po natin ang rekomendasyon ng kasunduluhan natin dahil sila po ang nasa ground.
Sir, to be clear, ano yung basihan ng palasyo to measure the effectiveness of martial law in Mindanao?
Well, meron naman pong basis, no, basihan para sa martial law. No? There has to be rebellion, there has to be invasion. So titignan po natin kung ang rebellion ay naririyan pa.
Thank you, sir.
Tina Maralit. Microphone, Joyce Pabot. Thank you.
Sir, earlier po, Sister Patricia Fox had a press conference regarding po yung deportation case sa kanya. And part of her statement po was, ang sabi niya, ilalaban daw po niya yung deportation case against her until the end. This, even if the Bureau of Immigration has really decided to, napaalisin po siya dito sa bansa natin. Your reaction po?
We are according her all the remedies provided by law to appeal the decision of the CID. I understand she has 30 days or so to appeal again to the DOJ. So binibigay po natin sa kanya yan at pagkatapos na ma-exhaust ang lahat ng remedies at kapag hindi na bagong desisyon, she will be deported. Duralex, Sedlex, mensahe sa mga dayuhan, wag po kayong mamulitika habang kayo po ay on temporary visa dito sa Pilipinas.
Sir, follow up lang po. Reaction po dun sa sabi rin po ni Sister Fox na sa tingin niya po personal attack daw po ng Presidente sa kanya yung kaso.
Naku, ang basihan po na ginagamit ng ating Presidente para siya ma-deport ay isang order na in-issue ni dating Secretary Laila de Lima. Blame Laila de Lima for that issuance.
Thank you, sir.
Rosalie Cos.
Hi sir, sa issue lang po regarding po sa allegation ni President Duterte sa brother-in-law ni Vice President Leni Robredo na binanggit niya na yung brother-in-law niya ang nagdala ng drugs doon sa Bicol. So, can we say that the President have enough evidence para po magsampa ng kaso doon po sa brother-in-law ni Vice President?
Let's just say that there's factual basis for anything and everything that the President says because he has access to information that only the President can have access to.
Pero sir, willing po ba na i-divulge in public ng Duterte administration since ang allegation po ay nanggaling sa Presidente?
Of course. At titignan po natin. Inaasahan nga natin magkakaroon ng investigasyon. Kaya nga lang po, no, sasabihin na naman siguro political persecution dahil kamag-anak ng Vice President. So, Ang importante talaga, maisawalat ang ebidensya nang sa ganon, makita ng lahat ng sambayanan, no, kung anong merong ebidensya laban sa brother-in-law.
Sir, malaki rin po ba yung factor na binibigay na information ng dating councilor ng Naga City na si Mr. Luis Ortega? And
Well,
ano po yung connection nila ni President?
Hindi ko po alam kung sino itong dating Councilor Ortega, no? Pero there must be information, there must be evidence for the President to say that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, questions, MPC? Ralph?
Hello. Spox, sino po ba yung on top ng rice crisis ngayon? Kasi dinenay po ni Secretary Piñol nung nakaraan na under po yung NFA sa kanya.
Yes, it still remains under the Office of the President as of now. Wala pa po tayong executive issuance na naglilipat sa NFA sa Department of Agriculture.
So sino pong ano dun?
It's still the OP. So it's still Executive Secretary Medial Dea as Executive Secretary that has supervision over the NFA.
Sino po yung NFA Council Head po ngayon?
Hindi ko alam pero statutory head yan no? Specified kung sino head yan. But I'm not sure kung sino ang chairman ngayon dyan, no? Oo. Let me check on that. Pero I think in the law itself, specified kung sino dapat tumayong chairman dyan eh.
Okay, thank you po.
Questions? Ina? Microphone.
Sir, are you aware of the stranded, yung situation ng...
Grounded,
Grounded,
Del Pilar.
not stranded. BRP Gregorio Del Pilar.
Yes, I understand that efforts are being undertaken to retrieve the grounded Del Pilar. If you remember, this is the same Del Pilar that was sent by then President Aquino to Scarborough, which led the Chinese to send multiple Coast Guard vessels to the area, leading to our exclusion from Scarborough Shoal. No? It's the same Del Pilar.
Okay. Just in case, sir, there are concerns that China might not allow Philippine personnel to head to the area to retrieve
Let's not speculate.
the... But
Because it's
definitely, we
ongoing.
will insist on...
It's ongoing
Okay.
with no problems from China.
Thank you, sir.
Henry? Henry Ori. Microphone, Ralph.
Ay, Sec, yung pag-i-import ng bigas na ibinukas nyo sa private sectors, does it mean na kulang na sa pondo ang NFA at private sector na lang ang mag-aangkat ngayon? Kagaya ng balita na sabi ng COA ay napunta lang sa pambayad utang yung malaking pondo ng NFA.
Hindi ko po alam kung anong estado ng cash position ng NFA, pero ang paniniwala po talaga natin mas mabuting pribadong sektor ang mag-angkat niyan. No? Unang-una, mas mabilis po ang pag-angkat kapag pribadong sektor. Pangalawa po, mas maiiwasan ang korupsyon kung pribadong sektor. No? Pangatlo po, patungo na naman talaga tayo doon dahil yung rice tarification na na-approve na ng mababang kapulungan, inaasahan na rin nating ma-approvean sa Senado. So hayaan na natin ngayong kaaga pa lang na ang pribadong sektor na ang manguna.
Nakakatiyak po tayo na yung rice tarification ay susugpo o sasawata sa smuggling.
Well, hindi po 100% yan, pero ang atin lang po kapag legal na talaga mag-import ng bigas ang lahat, kapalit ng pagbayad ng taripa, wala na pong incentive na mag-smuggle. Kaya lang po merong incentive sa smuggling dahil alam natin na may monopolya sa pag-angkat ng bigas at kapag nakalusot, mas malaki ang tubo. Pero pag ginawa mo ng legal ang importasyon para sa lahat ng mga mananakal, edi mawawala na po yung incentive na mag-smuggle.
Ano pong napag-uusapang dahilan within the cabinet level or sa Office of the President? Bakit ang NFA ay hindi pa ibinabalik hanggang ngayon sa Department of Agriculture?
Well, decision po yan ng Presidente. No?
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, MPC, no more questions? Ralph?
Wait. Will the government now cancel po yung Filipino contract?
Tapos na po yan. Yan po ay definitely for cancellation dahil nasusugan na po ni Secretary Guevara yung nauna ng opinion ni Presidente na flawed ang contract. Ang pagkakaiba, ang sinabi ni Secretary Guevara, void ab initio, void from the very beginning itong kontrata ng landing. At wag na po magpilit ang landing. I don't think they're also in a position to insist dahil ang chief executive nila inaaresto naman sa Cambodia.
will charges be filed po versus the former Nayong Filipino board and landing officials?
Again, I hope the Presidential Commission on Corruption will take the lead and file the necessary complaint with the Ombudsman, or I hope the Ombudsman, under the new Ombudsman, will initiate motu proprio investigation, no, dahil kinakailangan naman pong mapanagot yung mga pumasok sa ganitong kontrata.
Okay na po, thank you po.
Questions or? Okay. Vance Fernandez.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, what can the government do? Kasi nagkaroon ng amnesty program sa bansang Malaysia. So, sa mga overstayings na dayuhan o banyaga, so aasahan ba natin na there will be a nationwide crackdown sa lahat ng mga illegal na naninirahan sa Malaysia?
Ay nako, hindi ko po alam kung anong gagawin ng mga Malaysian government, no? Pero kung meron po talagang amnesty dyan, hinihikayat natin ang ating mga mamamayan, umuwi na kayo dito sa Pilipinas dahil alam po natin na kapag nahuli kayo at illegal kayo, may kulong sa pagiging illegal migrant dyan po sa Malaysia.
Okay. Sir, another issue, no? Pabor po ba kayo sa sinabi ni Senator Soto na hindi na kailangan na ipatupad ang martial law sa buong bansa, but instead, ipasa na lang ang pag-aamyenda sa Human Security Act na siyang magbibigay ng pagsugpo laban sa terrorism?
Gaya ng sinabi ko po, premature pa ang usaping extension o hindi sa martial law dahil meron pa po tayong 3 buwan bago mag-expire itong existing martial law.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, maraming salamat, Ms. Vance Fernandez. No more questions, MPC?
So if not, I will see some of you in Israel. We will have 1 press briefing in Israel and 1 press briefing in Jordan.
Okay, maraming salamat, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque. Thank you, MPC. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.